So today's episode of the podcast is all about, are children ready for the workplace, or are young people ready for the workplace more specifically? Rabab and I are going to be having this discussion. We want you to get involved and let us know what you think. We're going to be taking calls, we're going to be taking texts, we're going to be taking messages. All of that information is going to be in the description. Next time we do a podcast, we will answer your questions. Rabab, let's get going. Yeah. What do you think? Are young people ready for the workplace?
Oh no, definitely not.
What makes you say no?
Have you ever worked in a place with skills that you have taken back from school? Or?
No, I have not. And I like that you started there, because I think it'd be interesting if we share our own personal experience.
Yeah.
So I did a work experience placement when I was 15 for 2 weeks, and I was in a pharmacy, right? And
oh dear.
Yeah, well, they just treated me like I was just, it's just a kid, just let him, whatever. Yeah. And it wasn't taken too seriously. So I felt like I was given a lot of leeway. And, my experience there was not real world experience. It was very much like, oh, you're still a kid and don't worry about it, and we won't give you that much to do. Here, just sort through these papers and there you go. And that was fun at the time, but I don't think I learnt anything except people will be nice to you if you're young.
Yeah.
What about you?
No, I didn't start working while I was studying. I started right after, but when I went to interviews at the beginning of my life, all the questions that I was asked, do you know how to do this or that? The answer was always no, because I was not trained for it. So I started learning actually how to work when I started working, and that's really the problem, that's the problem why everybody, when they start working, they are required some experience, and they don't have the experience because they haven't worked before. And if they are not prepared from school, they will never have the experience.
Yes, and I think that's a very important point. So like a lot of what we're going to be talking about is related to us wanting to change the education system, right? Something that we've been doing interviews with everyone who we work with, other colleagues and people in the local area, and something everyone's been saying when we ask the question, what do you think schools could do to prepare young people for the workplace? A lot of people have been saying work experience, but real work experience for like 6 months.
Yeah.
You go into a workplace and you see what it's like. I haven't actually done my interview yet. We'll do that today. That's a very important thing for young people to see, that the honeymoon period of it's a new job and now I'm going to be commuting into the city and I'm wearing a suit, that wears off very quickly.
Yes.
The novelty wears off very fast. If you've got 6 months instead of 2 weeks, you're really going to get an insight into how people behave, what is and is not appropriate, what your boss does and doesn't want for you. For me, this is embarrassing. I took a lot of personal calls in the workplace, and I didn't know I wasn't allowed to do that. And even if you take your lunch in the break room and stuff, apparently you're not allowed. This is when I was working in a bank. Apparently you're not allowed to take personal calls. I didn't know that, and I got in trouble like once. And trouble meaning like my manager was listening to what I was saying, and after I finished on the phone, she was like, you do know that that's like a punishable offense, and that's a whole thing on its own. But so with this work experience, right, what do you think specifically it should look like for children? Like what age, what duration, that kind of stuff?
You mean the work experience? I think it should start like in year maybe 11, when they are more mature. They would know. But we have to prepare them before we do that. Prepare them for interpersonal skills. We need to prepare them to research, to, start knowing that life is not about a book and studying and that's it, and just put it in the exam and that's all they need. No, and then they will be prepared in terms of their relationships with their colleagues and teachers, and they will be prepared in terms of what they want to do in life. So they would have like options. Okay, if you would like to go into this branch or this discipline in life, these are the things that you would like to see or work and it would take like 2 or 3 years. They would try several things and then they would decide, okay, I want to do one of them or none of them.
Yeah, I think that's very important. When I was in school, I realized some very troubling things. Mainly, I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. Like, how I always used to feel it's very unfair. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, those are very formative years.
Yeah.
You know, you're coming into adolescence, you're figuring yourself out. On top of all of those things, you've got to make life-changing decisions. What A-levels you're going to do, what disciplines you're going to do at university, what jobs, this and that. And I just felt it's too much. And something that definitely would have helped me with that is, okay, let's give you a taste of what the banking industry is like. Oh, you want to be an artist? Okay, well, let's put you in a studio with other artists. Or you want to be a music producer? Let's show you what the environment is actually like. That, to me, sounds like a much better idea. And I like how you said over a number of years. So, you know, when you're 16, you try admin work and you're like, oh, I don't know if I could do this forever. Forever, right? I don't know how long forever is. Someone told me you should change jobs every couple of years. I don't know if not couple of years, but like eight years or so.
Well, I mean, you would change your job when you feel that you have given it everything and you can't take more. You cannot give more. So you feel that this is the time for change. Some jobs would take you a year or a couple of years. Some jobs would take you, 10 years to get and to give and take from it, everything. But it's nice to get more experience when you change jobs. But it becomes less and less the more you grow up.
I think so too.
Yeah. You should do that in the beginning, but not in the end, because also on your CV it doesn't look very nice.
That's another thing. I think that's why young people also aren't ready for the workplace. When you consider your CV, when you're young, it's all about, oh, I did this extracurricular, I play an instrument and stuff. As you get older, that stuff just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I think it's about translatable skills. So let's say, for example, you know, you're like, hey, I do judo after school. The employer is going to be like, that's nice, Karen, but you know, what relevant skills do you have? How is that going to help us produce more furniture? It's not. she can throw you through the table or the sofa, but you can't sell more furniture that way. So I think something along the lines of just getting like preparation for the CV in terms of, okay, this is what I feel like I might want to do after school or university is finished. Get the schooling system to help us get there. And
know what's there in the market, in the work market, because where I come from, I'm from Egypt, so where I come from, they usually ask the very young children, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the answer would be one of very few things. I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer, I want to be a pilot, and that's it. But they don't know that there are so many other things in life that they can be. How would they know that? They only know that when they sit with the people. As you said, if they go to a studio and work with a designer, they might like directing, they might like doing things on digital, so they will find other disciplines within the same one that will open more their spectrum. I think that's very true. And also something that I've been seeing, with my own schooling experience, it's like if you're a creative person, you don't, for me, I was okay with maths, I liked English because I liked the written word and stuff like that, but creative disciplines, if you want to call them that's kind of an oxymoron, isn't it? Creative discipline. Creative stuff, it wasn't really nurtured. It was like, okay, we'll do a bit of art and then shut up afterwards. And I think if I was shown, okay, you like English and you like being creative, why don't you try copywriting? Oh, this is what it looks like to write for a magazine. How about you shadow the person who's in charge of this column in this newspaper? That would have been amazing. And you know, okay, we can't turn back the clock, but I would like to see that for other young people. You know, especially we were talking about this recently, children who understand faster. You know, get them to, okay, you think you're very advanced and we think you are too. Let's put you in a situation and see where you go with that. And that, those skills, cognition skills will be, I don't know how to say it, but the gears turn faster when you're enjoying something. And when you're in a room where you're just being yelled at, you write these lines and read this book. It's not productive. And I think that's really contributing to why they're not ready. So, did you have something to add? I was thinking of what you were saying about being creative, and some idea just came to me. I mean, why wouldn't we have in the system a way where there could be a comprehensive way of expression? So some person would be, a child would be very talented in writing, another would be talented in drawing, and another and then have a comprehensive piece of work that they produce together, with maybe put it on the computer with an IT guy who wants a child as well, who likes to do IT, and he would put it in a form, and then the writings would come in, and then the drawings and some animation. And so you would have a piece of work that they would have produced. They used their English, they used their drawing, they used everything, and music, so they would have a comprehensive thing. And this would be like not a project that they would do only once or twice a year, but they would do like regularly. They will have to read to know what they are going to draw about, or what they were going to find the music that matches the theme. I think this would be more interactive, more creative.
That comes in, that definitely resonates with me, because in the workplace you're gonna have to collaborate with people.
Exactly.
Like, we're collaborating every day to produce stuff, right? We have a project, we have certain areas that we're both good at, and we know, okay, yeah, we delegate the tasks in this way. So if you're teaching young people, okay, you're good at this, here you go, you go with that.
Yeah.
It's teaching you delegation skills. You're not going to tell the IT guy to go and do the drawing,
music,
exactly, because that's his area of expertise. The specialism is there. I think that would teach young people, like, what's it called, synergy, how your team works together, how you complement one another's skills.
You said a very nice expression here, teamwork. That's really the essence. It starts from there. It starts from school, teamworking. Are we teaching our children teamworking?
That is a very important question.
Yeah.
In school, it's very much a competitive environment.
Exactly.
Oh, you got these grades, I got these grades, and putting children into different sets and stuff
pressure.
like that.
Oh my.
Yeah. And I think that, okay, obviously competition exists in the workplace. However, this is my personal belief. However, competition only gets you so far. It only improves your performance, I would say, marginally, depending on what you're doing. If you're in an industry, like I did sales for a long time, right?
Yeah, me too.
You know what it's like, right? And anyone in the audience who's done sales before, you know, okay, I'm competing against you, and I'm going to try
because
these.
It involves money as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
So I think if you teach collaboration in schools at an earlier age, you can assess for yourself, okay, do I like the collaborative environment, do I like the competitive environment?
Yeah.
And that's, you know what, that's your preference. I know some people who thrive in the sales environment because they love the competition. They're like, okay, I like you outside of work, but when we're in work, I'm beating your face in every day, and I'm taking that money, and that's fine. I don't think, whatever, that's personal preference. But if we teach children, look, this is what it's like to be competitive, this is what it's like to be collaborative, what do you want to do? And leaving it up to, and I think this comes down to the whole idea I have, anyway, this is my view. It's like, we treat young people as though they're second-class citizens, as though they don't know any better. Maybe they don't, maybe it's a lot of young people, they're still making up their minds, they're still figuring stuff out, but it doesn't mean that they lack like basic intelligence. They don't. We're not living in a world where young people are like trying to, I don't know, destroy things or them. Well, that's a lie. Some people are. I don't know. I just think that.
Well, there is a reason. Behind every behavior that you think is bad or inappropriate, there is a reason. So if a child breaks toys all the time, you need to know why. Is he upset? Is he angry? Is he inquisitive? He might be just inquisitive. He wants to know how this toy works. Or he can be anything. So we need, also this is another thing that we need to address in schools, I think. Because this is how to get the best out of them.
So you're speaking about behavior.
Yeah, if you know why they are behaving in a bad way or in a bad manner, you need to know why they are doing it. And then you can utilize their skills. And because if you know why, you will know how to utilize the skills that drive them to do this.
I think, the first thing, when you said that, the first thing that came into my mind is like, but school systems are underfunded and all of this stuff. Yes, we're looking to change the system. However, the thing that sticks out for me is like, if you had like, let's say 5 or 6 psychologists working in a school, within the course of a year, you could probably see like a couple hundred students, right? The most troubled to the least, right? In a year, you could do a lot of work. Like, a lot of the work that I've seen in other people the growth, right?
Yeah.
If you, what a lot of people in their later years, like let's say late 20s, early 30s, that sort of range going up to like 50 and 60, that's when our minds start gearing towards, okay, I want to grow in this way. When you're young, you don't really care about growth because you're still figuring a lot of things out and everything's new and whatever. If you start encouraging the growth mindset from a young age, you'd put off a lot of those midlife crises. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'd put off a lot of that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very powerful thing to give a young person. It's like giving them the key to unlock their own mind. Because it's all well and good saying, oh, Jonathan's a bit troubled, he likes to pull people's hair. It's a completely different story and then put him into detention. It's a completely different story to say, Jonathan, why are you pulling people's hair? Oh, okay, you know, what's going on at home? Oh, I see my mom hitting my dad. Okay, well, that might have something to do with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's many examples like that. Children replicate the behavior of their parents.
Yeah.
And this is all related to the workplace thing. If you can't behave functionally in the microcosm of society, which is a school, how are you going to translate to the macro? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Have you got anything else to add?
No.
I think we covered like a nice
Yeah.
little bit. So basically, we're starting these podcasts so that you can get involved in our conversations. So send your questions in the description section, in the email. Hit us up on Instagram, the Ideas Bus. All of our links are going to be in the description, and we'll see you all next time.
And not only questions, if you have also comments on what we are saying, if you think that what we are saying is nothing, so you have to tell us why do you think that what we are saying doesn't mean anything to you. So please respond to everything.
We want your opinions. We want good feedback, bad feedback. Well, I don't even think there is such a thing as bad feedback, but
yeah, I mean negative.
Okay, yeah,
negative,
constructive criticism.
Yeah, exactly.
We want everyone's input so that we can include you in our discussion, and this is what this is all about. This is why we're producing this content. We're sharing what we're doing. We have a lot of projects. We're very ambitious people. We want to change the school system. We want to introduce children to new technology with the Ideas Bus. We want to combat the negative effects of technology. There's a lot going on here, and we're going to be describing it a lot more. That's about it from us. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all next time.